Greetings, my lords and ladies, and welcome. It's InfernoKun back in Game of Thrones for a discussion. This one's gonna be about the Determinant characters in the series so far, how Telltale is dealing with them, and could they possibly have some sort of significance in episode 6. And there pretty much is a running meme in this community that Telltale does not really keep Determinant characters around very long, hence, stuff in The Walking Dead with Among Us. And so I'm wondering if Telltale will kind of fix that in Game of Thrones. I mean, obviously we have one episode left, but we got a good list of determinants that we can possibly come up in episode 6, not really sure. But let's begin with our first determinant character, which is Bowen, the squire to Norrin, who is a Forester soldier who's possibly dead. I mean, obviously he probably didn't make it out, but Bowen hasn't been seen since the Red Wedding. After you go ahead and leave him to die, or you can save him and he doesn't die, he comes with Garrett. But not really sure if Bowen would have made it out the twins alive. He definitely hasn't shown up in the other episodes, and there's no confirmation that he is alive or dead if you go ahead and save him. So it's kind of worrying, like, what did they plan to do with Bowen? Now, I would hope that he would have, maybe Norrin died trying to make it out, but Bowen maybe escaped the twins, and he tracked back to Ironrath, and maybe he could, like, join the Forester army, because he wanted to be a knight, like, Garrett was, promoted, and he wasn't too happy with that if you told him. But it'd be cool if Bowen ended up escaping and possibly going back to Ironrath and joining the Forester army. He wouldn't be the best because he's definitely a new. He was a squire his whole life, I think, or he is a squire now. But other than that, nothing else from him. We haven't heard from him. We haven't seen him. He is either presumed dead or unknown. I hope he might make an appearance in episode 6 in the Forester army. Just be like, hey, Asher or Rodrik, Garrett saved my life at the twins. It'd be a cool cameo. I mean, I don't want to see him fighting like a boss. I wanted to just see a cameo of him, like, hey, confirmation that he is either dead or alive. Other than that, he was a pretty interesting character, jealous of Garrett after you told him if you were being promoted. And other than that, nothing else we can go from him. Let's go ahead and move on to our second determinant character. I believe that is Eric. Eric is the guy who stole the weapons from the Foresters. He is either sentenced to the wall, taking 3 fingers, or he is forgiven for his crime. That'd be pretty cool. We obviously seen him at the wall if you sent him, so that is pretty cool. I sent him myself, and I'm happy with that. He at least is there, and pretty mad at the Foresters. He'd rather have his fingers taken. And other than that, he did appear quite a lot. Though episode 2, when he actually was there at the wall, and in episode 3, he kind of, obviously was there giving the assignments. He was a steward at the wall. And then in episode 4, you can see him looking at Britt's body. So that's pretty much cool, having him there. That's my choice, and I'm kind of happy with that. Now, as for the people who decided to take his 3 fingers, or maybe even forgive him, we haven't really seen anything from that choice. Obviously, he's probably going to be a Ironrath soldier, so he might be a little cameo in the war coming up. So that'd be pretty cool if they actually show him in the war. So other than that, obviously, it kind of worked out. Determinant, if you go into the wall, he actually shows up, and I'm pretty happy with that. It's pretty cool. Hopefully, people who actually forgave him or took his fingers, well, fingers, he can't really be a soldier because, he won't have his fingers. So maybe if you forgave him, he could make a brief cameo in the war to come, maybe. I don't want anything big, just be like, hey, he's there. Yay. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next determinant. We have Tazal. Now, you can either go ahead and bust his knee or snap his neck. Snapping his neck kills him, I believe, and busting his knee obviously just, injures him. So, yeah, that kind of worked out a little bit. You had mentions of him. His army won't stop until, they catch up with Beshka and Asher because of killing him. That happens. Not sure what happens if you go ahead and not kill him. I killed him, obviously. And other than that, Tazal he probably might have, done for. I mean, the Second Sons, or what we call the Lost Legion, I mean, they haven't really shown up ever since episode 3 when the dragon just wrecked them, and I doubt they're going to be looking for Asher and Beshka anytime soon over in Westeros, so too bad for Tazal. Other than that, he was determinant, and that happens with that, so wonder what they plan to do with him, if they actually... different scenarios if you kept him alive or killed him and stuff like that. Haven't really seen anything yet, so it doesn't matter anymore because Asher isn't in Essos anymore, so haha Tazal. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to our next one. I believe is going to be, here we go, Finn. Now this one is a big one that is kind of like proof of what Telltale does with determinant characters. Finn, you can either take him with you or leave him behind, or make him stay at Castle Black. But other than that, it's kind of like the first choice, that actually made a lot of big difference. Now, they did good with Finn, actually having him come in and get a story determinately in episode 4, or 5, I believe, 5 and 4, because he was obviously in 4 too, 4 and 5. He actually went a very long time until he was killed by a white. Now, Telltale always does this with these kind of characters, determinant characters. They let you have them for a little bit until they die for some unknown reason. I was hoping that Finn wouldn't die by just a single white of fear to the gut, but he ended up, getting killed by one, which is very, very saddening. And I was hoping that he would be better than that, not stupid enough to go fight a white head on. He obviously did that, and he died for it. So, I mean, if you look at the extra dialogue we had in episode 4 and 5 involving Finn, it definitely is an improvement, because talking to him, having him come up to Sylvie trying to fight her, having him fight the wildlings with us, that was actually a bunch of extra, content with him in it, and probably without him too. So, it's a big choice. It was satisfying, but him dying was just a bit too early. I'm not saying that I'm disappointed, it's just that this is an improvement, and I like that. They didn't actually throw him away, keep him quiet the whole entire episode, and just leave him out. They gave him extra fighting scenes, extra dialogue, you can talk to him, he actually reacts to Sylvie and Carter being wildlings. It was great. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely pretty good. So, Finn, sad he died, but it was a big improvement on determinant characters. I mean, it would have been nice to see him come along with us and find the North Grove with us, but that's just... I'm getting a bit sad here. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, at least he's safe at Castle Black if you didn't bring him along with you. Just think about it. He'd be alive if it wasn't for you making that choice. I'm sorry. Anyways, go ahead and move on. Next determinant character we have is basically, I believe, Bloodsong. Yeah, Bloodsong. One of the very talented pit fighters over in Marine. So definitely I kept him alive for obvious reasons. He was definitely a great fighter, and I would love to have him fighting alongside the Foresters, because, I guess if you want to basically gain the acceptance of the pit fighters, you would go ahead and spare him, or kill him, I mean. But I want to spare him because he's a good fighter, and I would love to have him fighting against the White Hills with us. And other than that, he isn't a dick. He isn't a dick. He's a pretty calm dude. He definitely wants to get his honorable death over in Westeros, and I gladly take him with me. And obviously he's determinant, so I wonder how long he's gonna survive, if he will at all. And I wonder if he will actually be very helpful. I'm hoping that he will be like, fighting very good alongside us, and he could possibly save someone's life. Maybe he could do some real damage, because this dude was definitely, he was a bit brutal, but in the end, he is a good fighter, and he definitely does kind of respect Asher a little bit to join him on his, crusade to save House Forrester. So it's enough for me. Awesome that I'm bringing him along with me, but I wonder how, leaving him out will affect the story, because I'm hoping that is a big choice, but hopefully he does not die. Hopefully that wouldn't happen. It probably will. I feel like it will, but hopefully it won't. Let's go ahead and go on to our next two big characters. Now this is kind of like, four-way determinant. Not really. Is it? No. Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah. Royland and Duncan. either who is the traitor and if you decide to execute them. So definitely this one is a big one, because you can either, it depends on who is your traitor, and you can spare him or either kill him. So it depends on who you have. Different things can play out due to that. Now for me, Royland was my traitor and I executed him. So obviously we are kinda out of a master at arms if you do that. So me killing Royland could, make our military kind of suffer. I mean, Asher can definitely command an army if he can, but looking at Royland, who is a great military, leader, I wonder how that will affect, the army fighting. Probably it won't, but hopefully it doesn't. Asher can definitely command an army if he wants to, but Royland definitely has years under his belt. So killing him or sparing him could also be a big thing for information on Lud's plan. So I wonder how that will play out. Also goes for Duncan, who is the Castellan, the most trusted person under the Lord, who can either be the traitor too or killed by Rodrik. So yeah, that happens, and him being the most trusted, I'm not saying he's kind of useless, but he is an advisor, and other than that, he doesn't have anything under him. Now, he does have the information about the North Grove. He knows a bunch of stuff about House Forrester because he is the most trusted. He was closer to Lord Forrester, and this could also be, if he actually tells Lud anything. He didn't tell anything about the North Grove though, but still, if he told him anything, and also we can still use Royland for information. So that's pretty cool. We have Royland being dead or Duncan being dead, and either one of them being your Sentinel, one being by your side, one of them being alive. It's kind of cool. I wonder how they're going to use that for like different choices. I hope that actually makes a big impact, having your Master at Arms dead or your Castellan dead or alive, having them both be, or having one of them being alive. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully they use that. That's pretty good. Now, go ahead and move on to our final two determinant characters, which are our protagonists, Rodrik and Asher Forrester. Now, this one is a really, really big one. We have either, we have one of the Lords of Ironwrath being alive, Asher and Rodrik. Now, this one's big because you gotta play as one of them, different dialogue, obviously, different outcomes, different things. This one's big. Asher and his pit fighters, obviously, they listen to him and fight for him. Rodrik, on the other side, the pit fighters don't really know him, and will they fight for him? Along with Beshka, obviously, you can go ahead and tell her as Asher to go ahead and follow and protect Rodrik, and that'll be a big thing for that. Now, obviously, I talked about Rodrik being dead and the effect on Elena. Also, the Asher being dead and the effect on Beshka. Just a bunch of different things can happen, and if they make the endings different, like, if they go ahead and put the time into making each, like, either having Rodrik alive, making it different in every aspect, like, each scene isn't the same as if you were Asher too, like, making it different to every scenario, no copy dialogue, different unique dialogue of what Asher would say or what Rodrik would say in situations, making it completely different stories of these two characters if one or the other is alive. I would love that, that'll make it actually, the replay value will be absolutely amazing. So hopefully they put the time into making Asher and Rodrik's ending different, and that would be amazing. That'd be great if they are. I'm hoping for that. So tell me your thoughts about that. Now, we have them being determinant, so there is a curse among Telltale. Will your chosen survivor die? Because determinant characters die. They usually die, and I'm kind of worried about that. I don't think they would kill off, Asher or Rodrik after one of them died. That'd be pretty bad, having all the Forresters die. There's no more hope. That'd be bad. Now, my hope for, like, if it were to happen, I would like for, like, one of them, or, like, whoever you chose to survive, they survive till the end. And then in Season 2, you play as your chosen survivor. That'd be cool, but that's probably too much to ask for. So, tell me your thoughts about that. It's pretty much been the end of my determinate little discussion. Tell me your thoughts down below on what's going to happen in the Ice Dragon and your thoughts on Determinant characters in general. I like them. Finn definitely was a huge improvement. Bowen, haven't seen much of him. Bloodsong, hoping that he is useful. Asher and Rodrik, I'm kind of worried about that, but hopefully they'll be different in every aspect, you know. Beshka will be different towards Rodrik, and hopefully Duncan or Roland won't act like they saw Asher yesterday. Make it different. That's all I'm hoping for. Thank you all for watching once again. It's been InfernoKun with my discussion. Go ahead and thumbs up if you enjoyed. I appreciate it and it helps out a lot. Thank you all for watching once again. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time on Game of Thrones.